German POW camp in Canada? Crazy, but it's true. Right behind me here is Camp 30, which housed over 800 high-ranking German officials in World War II, here in Bowmanville, Ontario. There's also a really, really cool escape story that involved both the Mounties and the Germans, the Battle of St. Lawrence. And we're gonna discover more about that in this episode of Wikked. So come along. One of the things I'm most thankful for in life is the time I got to spend with my grandparents. Both of them were alive during the war, my grandfather being a Canadian soldier with the Queen's Own Rifles Regiment, and my nana being a war bride born and raised in Aldershot, England, where the big army base was. Every night at dinner time, my sister and I would get so excited to hear the stories from the war, and it sparked my imagination and interest in history, not just as a child, but also as an adult. I'm lucky enough to remember all of those stories in vivid detail to this very day. And that's what sparked my interest in coming here, to Camp 30, Canada's notorious prisoner of war camp for high-ranking German officials. Originally built in 1927 as the Bowmanville Boys Training School, it was decided in 1941 to convert it into a prisoner of war camp. It's hard to believe that they only had 7 months to turn what was once a boys' school into a prisoner of war camp. In the months that followed leading up to the opening of the war camp, fences with barbed wire went up, 9 guard towers, and barracks for Canadian soldiers. Making escape impossible? In September of 1943, 4 high-ranking officers decided to escape in what was known as Operation Kiebitz, and they tunneled their way out of one of these buildings here, quite possibly this building. And upon the tunnel collapsing, only one of them managed to escape and make their way onto the Canadian railway system, trying to make it to St. Lawrence to meet their U-boat. On September 26, 1943, U-536 showed up, waiting for the signal, and it was then that the Canadian Army and the Canadian Navy signaled them, and being suspicious, the captain of the U-boat decided to descend back into the water, the prisoner recaptured. It's hard to believe that there were over 800 high-ranking officers at one point in this whole complex. I wonder how the locals must have felt about that, or if they even knew. But Camp 30 was connected with Camp X, which was a spy training camp also here in Bowmanville, about 30 minutes away, which a lot of people don't know about, and it's actually really cool as part of our history. Over the years that the camp was open, there were numerous attempts for prisoners to escape. Could this be one of the buildings that housed the escapees? In 1942, over 1,500 prisoners started a revolt in the cafeteria, and they had to bring in 100 Canadian soldiers from Kingston to stop them, armed with hockey sticks. And it worked. Thank you for coming along and exploring Camp 30. I know we didn't get to go inside. I'm not going to take a chance with breathing in whatever is in there, but maybe in better weather we'll return. But there's also Camp X, the spy training camp. That's not that far away, so who knows? We'll find out what's wicked about that in the coming weeks. It's always good to know our history, but when it comes to abandoned buildings, if you are going to explore, make sure you take the precautions, wear an N95 mask to protect yourself from fungus and microbes, and just be safe. And as always, a gorgeous sky to guide us home. Up next, we're visiting Brad Wolfe in Australia.
Hey, I'm Brad Wolfe, and this is Wikked. Thank you to James for giving me a shout out. So I've just released my first cover, which is my latest single, and it's Think Twice by Celine Dion, which has always been one of my favourite songs. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. You can find it on all streaming services. So yeah, I started writing songs, a while ago now. Won't say how long, but yeah, I've got 4 original albums, or albums of original music out, and I have a remix album, and I'm working on my 5th new original album at the moment. So I first started writing music, in my teens, and I was writing lyrics, and then I learned to play guitar, and then sort of started composing my own songs. I come from a background of performing arts and TV and theatre in New Zealand. Now I live in Australia. Yeah, so I started with the guitar. I still love writing with guitar, but as I've gone on through the years and I've worked with people and seen how they produce, I've learned a lot myself, and I've taught myself how to produce and been taught a lot how to produce as well. And so gone down more of an electronic route, which I love. But yeah, I still like guitar as well, so I like to try and experiment. So my biggest inspirations are varied and many. Going back to the 80s, I grew up as a kid with my older brothers and sisters listening to Madonna and David Bowie and Pet Shop Boys and all that sort of thing. So those were some of my biggest influences. And then as I went into the 90s and in my teen years, obviously Tori Amos, Alanis Morissette, and as I've got older, I've discovered new artists not new artists, but plenty of new artists. I mean, I love Chapel Roan at the moment, but also I discovered artists that I didn't discover back in the day. So, some of my favorites now also are Kate Bush. But I can go from Dolly Parton to Marilyn Manson to The Cure to Emmylou Harris. One of my favorite moments from my own musical journey as a musician and a singer-songwriter. When I first arrived in Melbourne, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was on a one-way ticket and kind of just hit the ground running, and I got off the bus from overnight in Sydney. I'd been seeing Tori Amos at the Opera House, which was amazing, and I had no money, and I got off the bus and I walked into the middle of the city, and there's what's called Fed Square, and it's this big public civic space with a stage. And I remember it was Monday morning, it was very grey and cold, and everyone was bustling around going to work, and all I had was my guitar and a bag of clothes, and that was all I owned. And I sat on that stage, and I did not know what I was doing, and I look back and I don't know how I did it. I couldn't do it again, I don't think, but, survival mode. And then I think it was a few years later after that, I'd started gigging in pubs and bars and stuff around town, and I was performing on that stage. It was actually for an Equal Love marriage equality rally, and so to actually stand on that stage in front of several thousand people and perform, having sat there 3 years earlier, with just a bag of clothes, a guitar and a dream, and not know what I was doing or how I was going to end up, that was really cool. I've written nearly 200 songs. I was kind of tidying them up the other day. I've got a big folder full of them, and was kind of working through them and revisiting some old ones that I'd done. And one dream of mine that I've always had is that I'd always wanted to write and sing in Spanish. I've been learning Spanish for a little while, and so I've been working with my friend Enrique in Mexico, and he is helping me to translate some of my original songs, which I hope to release as a small EP soon. So those songs are Tiptoe Over the Boundary, and Honestly, and Oil and Water. So working on those at the moment. So that's pretty exciting. One of my most special recordings is a song called It Gets Better, and that was the closing track on my album in 2019 called Spectrophilia. It Gets Better was a song I wrote about my own experiences growing up as a queer man, and it's actually a 10-minute song. I think it's about just over 10 minutes actually, and at the end of it, what it has is I'd gone through and had compiled a list of names of people all around the world over the last sort of 50 years, died or been murdered sort of in the pursuit of equality, you know, so people that were gay bashed or murdered because they were GLBTIQ, people that had died in the pursuit of actually standing up for equal rights. And so I'd had a list of those names, and I really kind of wanted the song to be a tribute to all those people as well. So a lot of people and fans and friends from all around the world wanted to take part, which was really cool. And so I sent them a number of names to read. And then at the end of it, we have this beautiful sort of instrumental that goes for about sort of 6 or 7 minutes, and people from all around the world, different countries, different accents, male, female, gay, lesbian, trans, were reading these names out. And it's very moving. It's an incredibly moving track. So it's on Spotify. It's called It Gets Better. It's on my album Spectrophilia. So I'd recommend going and listening to it. And unfortunately, that list of names, you know, continues to grow, which is really sad. But yeah, hopefully that song stands as a tribute to those people.
Hi, my name is Jade Elektra, and I'm just here to remind you that on Tuesday, December 17th, at the El Mocambo, that's 464 Spadina Avenue, the 2024 POZ TO Awards are happening. And this is our 10th anniversary. I can't believe that it's been 10 years that we've been celebrating those who are doing the work behind the scenes in the field of HIV and AIDS. So we will be honoring 10 people, and there will be special guest performances. We're still waiting to confirm who will be there. But I will be hosting the evening, and it's a great cause. The money that's raised at the door will go to the Toronto People with AIDS Foundation. So please, it is a great cause, and it's a wonderful evening of community. So come out and show your support.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another news segment at Wikked. Gonna make this a shorter one because I'm running out of time in the episode, but that's all good because here are 3 amazing artists that need to be talked about. Number 1, Stacey Lynn is a very talented friend of mine from Nova Scotia, Canada, and has released a song this past summer called Follow You, and I love it so much. I really wanted to talk about it, and the words really resonate with me, and I think it's such a beautiful song. I really think you should check it out. Stacey Lynn, Follow You. Now we travel to Liverpool in the UK with the release of Paul McCormick's new album, Metamorphosis. This is such a great album. I had a chance to listen to it from start to finish. It's so good. It has a blend of 80s synths and 80s beats and Paul's beautiful vocals, and it really is such a great album. Some standout tracks, Eyes of the Storm, All in My Stride, and of course the title track, Metamorphosis. And to finish things off with this episode, we have Mark Vox with his new song, This Love. It was just released in the last week or so, and I love this song. It's been on repeat. It's such a banger. The vocals are on point. It's got a great beat. I love that piano, and man, it's been getting me through some days. So thank you, Mark Vox, for such a wicked song. Mark Vox, This Love. That brings this episode to a close, and I just want to say thank you to every one of you for helping to make Wikked such an amazing success. I really love doing this, and I really can't wait to bring each episode to you every week. I love supporting indie artists, so if you are an indie artist, make sure you DM me, and I would love to have you on the show. And if you have any ideas for me to explore in Ontario, let me know too, and drop them in my DM. As always, thank you to my partner, Andrew Hanna. Thank you, Brad Wolfe, for being part of this episode and sharing your amazing story as an artist. Thank you, Jade Elektra, for sharing with us the 10th anniversary of POZ TO. Thank you, Cass Dupree. Thank you, DJ Peter Bedard. Thank you, Velvet Code. Thank you, Kenny Fitzpatrick. And as always, If we support each other, then we succeed together. And that's what this is all about. And I hope you have a wicked day. Be true and be you. Mwah.